welcome back to the MovieBabble podcast. Today it is me, Brennan, hosting, and we're back with another award season special here. We got Nick on. How's it going, Nick?
Howdy. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. We have Sophia. How's it going?
Good. I'm excited to be back and talk about the chaos of BAFTA once again.
Yeah, we officially do love BAFTA now. Second year running. And we have Jonathan on as well. How's it going?
I'm all right. I'm fine.
Just all right. Today was a very interesting day, obviously, with the BAFTA nominations, and I think there's certainly a lot to talk about there. So I think we should just jump right in. The chaos has certainly been stirring. I'm kind of happy. Just firstly, before we kind of get into the actual nitty gritty of it, I'm kind of happy with how it played out. Like, it's kind of now becoming a fun stop along the road to the Oscar night. 2 years in a row. Nick, how do you feel about the nominations?
Yeah, there's two things that give me existential dread with the Oscars. One is just like, I know that my favorite movies of the year are not going to get nominated because I'm too weird. But the worst part is having to talk about movies that I don't care about for like 3 months, like being the Ricardos. And then the second one is just when everybody just chooses the same movies, and then it's just kind of boring. And then it's like, oh yeah, I guess this person will win. Or I guess Renee Zellweger is going to win the Best Actress in like September or whatever that was when everyone decided that she was going to win. Mm-hmm. So I love the BAFTAs just being weird, Sure, Audrey Diwan for Best Director, that's great. That Happening is a great movie that I watched at Sundance and I really enjoyed myself. So I think it's fun just to spice it up. Who knows if any of this will have any bearings on the race. Doubt Stephen Graham for Boiling Point is going to be in the Best Actor race, but it's fun that we actually get to mention that on a podcast and not just talk about, I don't know, Will Smith ad nauseum, even though I love that man. But it's just fun. It's a fun little stop in the way, like you said.
Yeah, no, for sure. I hear you. Sophia, how are you feeling just about the nominations overall today?
Yeah, I mean, I was excited because they loved Licorice Pizza, and I love Licorice Pizza. So that was, I think, a pleasant surprise because I consider that movie to be very American, and I didn't expect it to appear as much as it did today, but getting PTA into director off of a full jury, getting an editing nomination over The Power of the Dog, Don't Look Up, other movies that could have gotten in there, that was really surprising to me, but I think a welcome surprise. And also Best Actress is my favorite category of award season, and we are in for another treat because I think, after PGA, we were all like, Nicole Kidman. And turns out she was not in the top two and not saved by the jury. So now we have Lady Gaga, ?
Yeah, it's exciting. The BAFTA's participating in continuation of Pizzagate with Licorice Pizza. Big week coming up. Jonathan, your BAFTA reaction?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like Nick said, these are like fun nominations, and, especially compared to the boring ass Critic Choice Awards, like these are genuinely more exciting. And then I find myself also being like, well, because of the jury, like how much crossover will it really have on the Oscars? And then I also go back again. I'm like, well, BAFTAs are like pretty good at like predicting the winners. That shows a lot of strength. There's a lot of voter overlap. So it's all confusing in my head. I keep going back and forth, but overall, I prefer this compared to Critics' Choice, like just following the pattern.
Yeah, it's become the award show that I'm kind of excited for. Like the night before, I'm like, yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun. Tomorrow's gonna be a good day, especially for you, Jonathan, on your Spaces BAFTA reaction.
Yeah,
Twitter
yeah,
Spaces.
That's right. Love Lady Gaga, man.
We might get into that. Who knows?
I do.
Yeah. So let's jump into that though. That actress category, which I think is, second year in a row now, might be the one to watch heading into Oscar night. Obviously, no Nicole Kidman, no Kristen Stewart, no Olivia Colman even. No Jessica Chastain. Like, this was, I expected most of them to miss, I think, coming into today, but I didn't expect pretty much all of them to miss besides Lady Gaga. Like, that truly threw me in a loop there. Like, I don't think a jury saved her. So is she that strong?
Tough too.
Who wants to take the floor here? Is Lady Gaga that strong in this race?
Yeah. Okay. Oh my fucking God. I can't believe this is happening. So, like, if Lady Gaga wins SAG, which now is looking like very possible considering what House of Gucci got, if she wins SAG and then she wins BAFTA, like that shit is a wrap. Like she is getting the Oscar. That is an insane package. It's just her trajectory this award season has been like fucking insane. Cause I think there was a period of time where everyone thought she was kind of dead. And then she won, like, what was it? The New York Film Critics Circle. And that was a fucking surprise. And it seemed like,
They've carried her all the way.
yeah, honestly, from then she like skyrocketed, like to the moon, like the AMC stock to the moon. So it's like good for her, but that is wild. She's in good territory right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophia, any takes on that one?
She really is. I mean, I remember when she won a New York Film Critics Circle, it was kind of like, are they trolling us? Like, is this just a pick where I think none of us expected it? We expected them to maybe go with Penelope Cruz or Renata Reinsve, someone like from an international film, but they went with Lady Gaga. And I think what we have to maybe take away from that is that every year, like even if you don't like House of Gucci, there are people who leave that movie thinking, I didn't like the movie, but Gaga was the movie. Like Gaga at least was good, or I liked her performance, or I'm talking about her performance. And I think that's what's happening. She is also, I mean, we can roast her or make fun of her all we want, but her campaign is working. She is everywhere. She's delivering sound bites. She's making TikToks for Adam Driver's birthday. So I feel like that's just sticking with people. And I do think she's going to win SAG. I mean, especially like with SAG expanding and like AFTRA having influencers involved. Like some people are not going to watch these movies, but they're going to want to vote for Lady Gaga. So I feel like if she gets SAG and then she doesn't have a ton of competition at BAFTA, even though this is my favorite Best Actress category I've seen yet this season, I feel like the path from there is pretty clear in front of her. Like, okay, who knows what's going to happen at Critics' Choice, but like SAG and BAFTA, I mean, that's Oscar.
Yeah, Nick, any takes here? Big Oscar, or big House of Gucci fan?
I love House of Gucci. I love this wonderfully stupid movie. It's just everything's better with Lady Gaga. You know, she's hilarious. Who knows how aware she is of all of it, but I don't care. It's amazing, everything she does. Mm-hmm. I love all of it, and it's like one of the few like quote unquote movie star performances we had this year, in terms of movies that are like eligible for, or I guess just going up for Oscars in general. So. I'm just happy she's here. You know, she's just the best. I love her. Like, just give me more of her and Adam Driver just doing weird stuff together. It's just
fucking
House of Gucci is just the weird thing, is the weird movie that injects life into the awards race, and we all needed it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I mean,
can
this
buy
is
that.
a movie. This is a movie that I think, the reactions weren't great, but I mean, I think we can kind of say that Lady Gaga is a movie star at this point. I mean, one of the most successful adult dramas of the year, the most successful Hollywood adult drama of the year for sure. And Lady Gaga just kind of landing at every single awards show here. I think it'll be a shame though if she does win, because A Star Is Born I think was much better. I love that movie, and I think she was genuinely really phenomenal in that movie. Maybe she was okay in House of Gucci. I think she was fine in House of Gucci, but I don't know. The movie for me kind of weighed the whole experience of it down. Nick's not in the same boat.
Yeah,
but
to be fair, I ironically love House of Gucci. I don't think it's a good movie, but I had so much fun watching how ridiculous it is that I think it's good in a weird way.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I still have a hard time seeing her pull it out, though. I don't know if BAFTA's going to give her the win there, but I do think SAG's where she's kind of most likely going to pull one out. I don't know if anyone agrees with that sentiment at all.
I guess I would just ask you, like, who else is going to win BAFTA? Do you see another contender that's going to get all of the general membership?
Alana Haim.
Oh, let's go.
That would be the best. I'd be so happy.
You look at the other 5 nominees, and it's so cool that they're all there, but you may be right in that sense that she's the only one with the power to take it home. But I don't know. I think we might see surprise, but I don't know where. I'm having a tough time pointing at one. So Lady Gaga might be our next winner.
I mean, who do you think was the other person in top 2 if Lady Gaga was theoretically top 2? Because I actually think it is Alana Haim who got top 2.
I think it is too.
Especially with how Licorice Pizza did. So like, Maybe Lana like actually does win the BAFTA. Like I don't fucking know what's going on anymore, but I'd be cool with that, to be honest.
That's pretty fair as well. Yeah, I think she's probably top two. I think that's a good argument. I thought maybe Amelia Jones for a bit, but probably not. Heim seems like the more correct assumption there. More kind of shockingness though out of BAFTA was I think Leonardo DiCaprio landing a nomination in a system that is the way BAFTA is. I mean, this was interesting. I don't know. So, Sophia, you put out a great tweet today, right? You said, what's worse, it was Leonardo DiCaprio top two at BAFTA, or was he saved by, the jury selecting four? I mean, what do you guys think? Where did he fall here?
I mean, my gut is he's top two. Like, it was just like he can't be saved by a jury, and they did like Don't Look Up. Like, it was in the top five. So I feel like this is kind of like old BAFTA-ing. Like, they're just like, remember when they double Margot Robbie? Like, this is their way of still kind of doing that, I think. And they put Leo here because to them, like, Leo is their star. They didn't go for Meryl, Rylance, J-Law. Like, they put it all on Leo.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of makes sense. And I think that maybe the juries are, I mean, I don't know, I guess, when they kind of know in the process how everyone feels about these movies. But it's like, okay, if we're going to give, if they already, I don't know, they were probably already thinking, like, maybe Leo will be nominated. So none of the other juries felt the need to save anybody else from the movie. But yeah, I think he was top two, and Will Smith was a save.
You think Will Smith was saved by the jury?
Yeah, I think it was Cumberbatch and DiCaprio. That's my gut.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I think, honestly, looking at this, I think I could see Cumberbatch walking away with the BAFTA. I think that's something that could happen here. Will Smith still looks pretty unstoppable, I think, for the Oscar. I don't know, though. I mean, he's been, him and Cumberbatch are the only guys who have, landed everywhere, right? Where do you guys stand on this race? Just who do you think's winning? Let's go BAFTA and then also Oscar at this point.
I think Will Smith, Oscar, and then I think Cumberbatch, BAFTA, I think is the way it goes. I just think Will Smith is just, I feel like we are all deciding this is the time to crown Will Smith, so it's just gonna happen. It's the opposite of the Best Actress race. That movie came out, no one saw it, but apparently everyone thought Will Smith deserved to win for it. So I think he's probably gonna win.
Yeah, I would also pick Will Smith to win the Oscar. I haven't really strayed from that. It's just, I'm like, when I saw Cumberbatch, DiCaprio, and Will Smith, I was like, that really threw me off because I was like, one of these motherfuckers was saved by a jury. And like, in a way, it almost makes sense for Cumberbatch to be saved by the jury, but I'm like, that's probably not what happened. He was probably top two. I'm like, Will Smith was like saved by a jury. Like, that also doesn't really sit right with me. So I don't even know what's going on. If Cumberbatch wins BAFTA, which is like possible, I don't know. I might even just predict him for the Oscar, to be honest, because I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, Power of the Dog could win like 5 Oscars, and like including Best Picture. So, but I think Will Smith.
Yeah.
Like, gun to my head, I think Will Smith just sweeps all the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Will Smith, he's the closest thing we have to that Renee Zellweger being crowned a Telluride type of idea. I mean, the thing is, too, is that King Richard is playing well. It is showing up in places. It's hitting. It is that, I mean, I hate the word, but crowd pleaser type of movie. And I think that he wins SAG. And Critics' Choice, I think he'll probably win there, too. Pundits' Choice, they like predicting. So I feel like that will probably happen. I do think Benedict Cumberbatch is doing a good job campaigning. I don't know if you guys watched his video with Tom Holland, the interview about The Power of the Dog and his performance, but Tom Holland was great. He put a lot of thought into this interview and this discussion and clearly really liked the movie and thought about it a lot, and it was great. So I think Benedict is working the circuit, whereas Will Smith, I don't know where he is. I haven't really seen him.
Yeah, that's true.
Many places. But I still would think Will Smith would win. But I don't think it's locked up. I was surprised Andrew Garfield wasn't here. I was expecting that. He is a Brit, but no Tick Tick Boom anywhere.
Him missing is a surprise. I think for me, I wasn't fully confident that he'd be top two, but I think he's good. He was good enough that I was hoping the jury would kind of carry him in there, because I think it is a phenomenal performance. And also just, he's got to be like the guy this year, right? Andrew Garfield's got to be like the most talked about actor this past year period. I don't know many people who maybe take that crown from him, right? Just between Spider-Man, Tammy Faye not really, but he's really fun in that movie. But Spider-Man, all the interviews leading up, obviously Tick Tick Boom was a sensation for him. I don't know, just to see this movie get nothing, it's a surprise for sure. I think it certainly takes a lot of the kind of steam out of the ship for this movie, but it did have a solid week last week with Guilds. How do you guys feel about Tick Tick Boom at this point? And Andrew Garfield, of course.
Andrew Garfield's great. I love that guy. Tick Tick Boom, I've been vocal. I just don't like this movie. But I've been tracking it, I feel like, for that 9 or 10 spot for a while now. And I honestly, and maybe it does muddy the waters a bit. It makes me like a little more willing to go after Drive My Car, like just like throw that in there, pepper it in there maybe. But I still think it's that 10th movie. That's the 9th or 10th in there somewhere. I don't know. I think Drive My Car is a great movie. I still, in the back of my head, I still think that movie is a little too, for lack of a better term, just like art house for the Oscars. So I think it's fine. I don't know if it'll win much at the Oscars, but I think it will be there.
Tick Tick Boom is so funny because like a few weeks ago I said it's missing picture. I just kind of like put my foot down and I thought, this is just not happening. Don't Look Up and The Power of the Dog, those are our Netflix movies. We're not going to have 3 Netflix movies in Best Picture. Tick Tick Boom just doesn't feel like it has passion around it. And then PGA happened and I was like, okay, maybe I need to give up on The Tragedy of Macbeth and all of these other things. But yeah, now I'm kind of back at the, like, if BAFTA didn't like it at all, that they do have some crossover with the Academy and it does have good below the line trends. So here I am back again thinking of taking it out.
Yeah, it's been my 9th or 10th for like so long, and I was like that close for like being the Ricardos and Hazuguchi to like just double team and take that shit out and both of them get in. But like Tick Tick Boom did do pretty well with Guilds, and I just feel like everyone just like loves Lin-Manuel Miranda, even though I'll admit I'm kind of getting tired of him. But it's like he almost feels like kind of like Hollywood's golden boy, at least in the moment. So I don't know. I might just keep it in. I think like I like Tick Tick Boom just fine, but I'll just fucking keep it in. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
The issue with that movie is I think it just doesn't have much going for it besides Andrew Garfield, right? Like it's maybe gonna have a sound nomination. That's it. Like it's not a movie that I think editing it's maybe was on the cusp of that there, but I don't know. It's just not a movie that has a ton besides Andrew Garfield. I don't know if that's enough to carry you all the way. Moving into directors though, before we do jump to the directors, speaking of Tragedy of Macbeth, Denzel Washington still never a BAFTA nomination. He's got 8 Oscar nominations, like 10 Globe nominations. There's something going on here, and it's not right. So that's pouring out for Denzel.
Do you think it's a bit at this point?
But,
I feel like they're just like, do you think it's a bit at this point? I feel like now they're just like, he's just never getting one.
Prince William must have had like a really bad interaction with him, or like the royal family, and they're like, listen guys, we're never nominating this motherfucker ever. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad.
It feels deliberate. Like it feels like they're doing it on purpose. And I hate that because Denzel's amazing. I mean, it's like him and Daniel Day-Lewis. They're like the goats right now alive. So
yeah. That's it's like a weird flag to plant. Like, we hate Denzel Washington. who says that? Like, if you say that, I just I judge you immediately. Like, that's just a weird opinion. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's odd. We'll keep tabs on it though. We'll see. I mean, what more does he have to do, right? Equalizer 3 maybe that'll get him in.
Hell yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, moving to director, because that was certainly interesting. Just right away, obviously, another great lineup. Last year was so fun. This year, great again. And this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is jury, all 6 nominees, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it kind of shows the strength of some of our actual Oscar contenders. Like obviously Jane Campion was one that I didn't think would miss jury or awards body, but Paul Thomas Anderson getting in, that's kind of a big deal for the Licorice Pizza train, right? I think that's a pretty big land for him there. But the big omission I think was Denis Villeneuve, especially after Dune pretty much getting nominated for every category. Like I was going through the nominees like Dune, just default tech category, give Dune a nomination. So they finished with 11 nominations, which is leads BAFTA. So that kind of surprised me. I mean, the jury kind of, I guess, makes it a little more explainable, but it was still surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to use like the Carey Mulligan like argument, like, but I will in this case, like straight up, if this was not juried, like Villeneuve would be here, like for sure. We see that from the other categories. So that one I'm honestly not concerned about. Paul Thomas Anderson getting in is like fucking huge because he still wasn't safe in my eyes. So now I think Campion, PTA, and Villeneuve are like our only locks, and Branagh, Spielberg, Hamaguchi are like all fighting for 2 spots, in my opinion. So good for PTA, but Villeneuve is fine for the Carey Mulligan argument.
Yeah, I agree. I was so excited to see PTA, like big PTA fan. But yeah, it says a lot that the jury said, like, we're going to pick this white man from California to be in this jury. I mean, that's like, okay. And they could have picked many others, but they chose him, and they did really like that movie. And it is obviously, it's very well directed. But I think, yeah, I agree with you. Like, Campion, PTA, Villeneuve is safe. I saw a tweet today that was like, we need to worry about Villeneuve missing. And I'm like, do we though?
No.
Like, he's the big tech player. It's not, this is a full jury. We don't need to worry about that. I really don't think we do. I think Hamaguchi is good because Drive My Car is weirdly following the exact same path that Another Round did last year.
Yep.
Another Round got screenplay. Vinterberg showed up in director at BAFTA, and then that was kind of what we needed to see Vinterberg through to Oscar. So I feel like Hamaguchi's there. And then I think that 5th spot, I mean, I want it to be Julia Ducournau. I mean, that would be incredible if we had 2 international directors there. Well, really 3 if you include Denis, 4 really Campion. But
very international up here in Canada.
Yeah. But I think, too, it's like Branagh feels safer to me than Spielberg, which I never would have said at the beginning of the season.
Oh my God, I'm going to throw up. That is
I know.
insane.
I know.
I agree with you though.
I know.
I agree. It is
I know.
insane. Even if you don't like West Side Story, dude, how the fuck can you say Belfast is better directed? Oh my God, what a travesty that would be. Sorry.
No, I know. No, it's true. It's true. I do like want to. I think part of it is like I definitely see the comparisons between Branagh and Sorkin or Farrelly or Bradley Cooper, these directors who, hit the precursors and then miss because the director's branch of the Oscars, they're kind of snooty. And like they can look at BAFTA or at Belfast, not BAFTA, at Belfast and be like, really? Like color in the glasses? No thanks. And we're going to go with Spielberg directing this musical, but Spielberg hasn't been nominated since Lincoln. We could be in for another situation like The Post. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Julie Ducournau getting the nomination there at BAFTA. I think that was, after it missed not in the English language, I did not think she'd get in, but she did, so that's huge. I still won't even entertain for a second that she'll get an Oscar nomination personally. I'm
Absolutely
just
not.
I don't know. I just don't.
I know.
Too bad. It's sad, but I don't see it.
No,
I think
you're right.
Yeah, it's sad, but I mean, I just can't even, not even 1% of me feels like she could get. I don't know. But Hamaguchi, yeah, I think you're right there that he's certainly looking strong. I don't know. I feel like with Kenneth Branagh, they might, give him a screenplay nomination, and that'll be like the substitute maybe, and he might miss director. I don't know though. This is scary that he might be safer than Steven Spielberg.
I feel like the thing with Belfast is it's so tied to Kenneth Branagh being like,
I
this is
know,
my
I
childhood.
know.
So it's like
Yup.
he is the driving force of all of it. So I feel like he's kind of very safe for that reason. Yeah, I would say Spielberg's out at this right now.
Oh my
if I had to
God.
say it, I'm ready.
That is
I'm feel like
disgusting.
West Side Story is doing terribly like everywhere. Even though I think it's better than the original. That's just me. Yeah, I just really don't see it right now. I would love to see Hamaguchi. That'd be really cool. I would love that.
Yeah, it seems like Belfast, or not Belfast, West Side Story, just looking at BAFTA, yeah, the techs, there were a few notable tech misses. I think also Belfast suffered kind of the same fate with a few tech misses. I think one of the happiest tech misses, this is something that we've been praying for all season, but was production design, Belfast missing out on. So that's a
You mean the school play wasn't nominated?
that's a big win. Even Cyrano snuck in maybe in its place. French Dispatch, though, get a nomination, very inspired. But yeah, so Belfast missed there. God bless. But yeah, so that's the BAFTAs. I think that the impacts will be seen to see if they'll be felt with the Oscars. Obviously, there was a lot of crossover last year with the winners. Obviously, the bodies, there's a lot of crossover. But yeah, I'm just happy that we get this refreshing kind of stop along the way to the Oscars. Moving now just onto just kind of the last few weeks of award season overall and just kind of where we are at. I think we have to acknowledge the big omission throughout the season, which is Kristen Stewart, who missed out on a BAFTA nomination here. Maybe you blame Prince William being head of the BAFTA board or something like that, but I don't know. This movie's like, I don't know. The industry's not a big fan of Spencer. Too bad too, because I think it's a really, really good film, and her performance is better than pretty much most of these locked in front runners. So yeah, it's kind of a shame.
She missed SAG. Like that shit. Spencer even underperformed at Critics' Choice, like the most boring Critics' Choice. That underperformed there. It's doing worse than Jackie. It's gotten like 0 at the BAFTAs. Like, I don't know. I still kind of want to go with just a clean top 5 for like Best Actress at the Oscars. Like a part of me wants to, but like Stewart is like kind of done, low key.
Yeah. I think what's really hard is that I always thought this performance would be received in the same way as Jackie, like Natalie Portman. Like she would at least get a nomination. Maybe she wouldn't win because it was polarizing or because, you know, people held her past against her, but I thought she would at least show up. And now I think have learned this season to like not just listen to film Twitter and the people who are really loud about certain performances in certain movies, because you're only going to hear the praise. Because what kept happening with this movie and with this performance after I saw it was I kept, you know, just talking to friends, talking to people who are kind of outside of the film Twitter bubble, but who watch a lot of movies. And they were like, did you like that? I didn't really like that. Or that performance didn't really work for me. Or I thought her accent was good, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. And I think I heard enough of that I was like, okay, maybe this is kind of a film Twitter thing. And I think she was kind of crowned the front runner early on by Twitter, and then we kind of started to see the reality come through with the big reality check being SAG. That's just a lot. That's just something you don't come back from.
Yeah, Nick, any thoughts on good old Kristen Stewart here?
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I think that performance is really good. I think that movie is like, it's weird. It's mannered in a way that I think people probably find off-putting. It's a very odd little movie, you know? It's like not quite a psychological thriller horror movie, but it's also not like a straightforward biopic. It's weird. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting, but I can understand why people are kind of like, I don't know what this movie is, kind of towards it. But I'm curious what y'all think about who slides into that spot. Because part of me is like, it hasn't been happening at all, but you know, Worst Person in the World does go in the theaters this week. There's a late push for our girl, Renata Reinsva. It's like one of the best performances of last year. Who knows? That's probably not going to happen. That would be really cool. I'd also love to see Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers as well. But I don't know. It makes things way more interesting, but I love Kristen Stewart, so it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, one of those two I think have a real good shot of getting in. I don't know about both, but one of those two certainly I think have a good shot of getting in. I also still am not kind of I don't think the ship is fully sailed in my mind for Kristen Stewart on a nomination, but the fact that the jury didn't even kind of save her kind of stunned me because I really thought they would at BAFTA. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I could see Penelope Cruz sneaking in though, kind of like a Pain and Glory situation for Almodovar.
I might go Alana Haim. I've always felt that she was like stronger, even than like Rachel Zegler and Hudson. Even though Rachel Zegler got the win at the Globe, Hudson got nomination at SAG. Alana Haim just felt like the Oscar-y thing for whatever reason. I don't even know why. And this might cement it, but because I'm not taking out Chastain, to be honest. I don't really see that happening. So if I do take out Stewart, which I might as well, I'd probably sub in Alana Haim.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling too. So right now I have Lady Gaga and Nicole Kidman. They're 1 and 2. I'm not touching them. Coleman feels right to me still. Like even though The Lost Daughter just kind of feels like it's going to be adapted screenplay in Coleman, I do think Coleman has a lot of passion behind her always. Even though she wasn't nominated BAFTA today, which was weird, but it happened with The Father for her last year too. So. And then I think I'm also not taking Chastain out. I could see her missing in some world, but like I don't have enough evidence to support that really to take her out. And I want to do as well as possible with my predictions. So then I'm going to do Haim at 5 because I do feel like PTA movies, they get actors in, and she has that ingenue story that works well on Academy voters. And I think too, possibly being top 2 at BAFTA, like that she might be like top 2 or 3 at Oscar.
Yeah, I'm fucking doing it. Yeah,
it's probably the right move, honestly. But I just love worst person in the world, so I'm just over here with
So
my
do
pipe
I.
dream.
Reinsva should
I mean,
get
if
in.
I could vote for anybody, it would be Reinsva or Penelope Cruz.
So
like those,
Joey
I think
King.
were 2 of my favorites. Joey King.
Kissing Booth 3, yeah. That's to honor the trilogy.
Dude, just wait for Tall Girl 2, like next week or whatever the fuck it comes out. Dude, I am watching that shit.
Can't wait.
Oh, God. So, obviously, we had also the PGA nominations last week, and obviously we had our 10, so we had Being the Ricardos, Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, Tick, Tick, Boom, and West Side Story. Does anyone here think it goes 10 for 10 at the Oscars? And if not, who's sliding in there at the 9th or 10th slot?
No, I don't think PGA goes 10 for 10, but because I'm a coward, I might just predict the PGA 10 because I feel like then I'm guaranteed at least like 9 in a way, which is like a cowardly thing to do, but
That's lame.
Yeah, it is lame. Fine. Kissing Booth, we'll get in. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's. I think most people agree, and I feel like we're once again repeating of last year when everyone thought Miami and Ma Rainey were safe, but it feels like it's Tick Tick Boom or Being the Ricardos are 9 and 10, however you put it, and I don't know. I might just keep both.
Yeah, I think I made fun of you, but I feel like I am kind of the same.
What the fuck?
But it's I don't like it because I feel like the screenplay categories are always like the cool movies club where they acknowledge movies that are really good in screenplay but don't give them best picture, which is that's where I think Drive My Car ultimately shows up, and I don't think it gets picture or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So that would be the only one I'd be like willing to throw in there. There's a weird like Nightmare Alley hive in the ether that I don't buy at all, but you know, people like that movie, so I think it's this 10. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, honestly.
Yeah. So last year I pulled One Night in Miami and Ma Rainey out of picture.
Oh.
Because I had this feeling that they weren't going to show up, and that's the feeling I have with Tick Tick Boom right now. It's back. It like won't leave my head that this is missing picture. So I think I'm probably going to take Tick Tick Boom out and leave Ricardo's in, which doesn't quite feel right, but I just feel like if people like Kidman. I do feel like that movie was 6th for ensemble votes at SAG. So I just like, I feel like it has acting support. So I do feel like, okay, I'll maybe leave that one in. And it's hard because if anything sneaks into picture, it's not going to be one of those like blockbusters. It's not going to be like No Time to Die or Spider-Man, I don't think, because PGA would have done that. Like that's probably the group that would have done it. So Oscar, it's like, I'm not willing to like let go of Cohen just yet, even though I know that movie tanked at BAFTA, but like he did with Buster Scruggs. That movie came out of nowhere and got so many like random nominations, like screenplay and song, and they didn't even campaign it. So I'm kind of like, could that pop in? I don't know. But yeah, I will probably put Drive My Car in just for fun.
I would want that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I want it to happen.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
impressive.
going to join you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be cowardly. I'm going to do it
Yeah,
too.
honestly,
It's more fun
as
that
soon
way.
as
Do
you
it.
said you took out Miami and Ma Rainey last year, and you have that same thing for Tick Tick Boom, I was like, all right, fine. Fine, I'll take out Tick Tick Boom.
It's
good
no,
enough for
it's
me.
my fault if I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Just a thing. And they can celebrate Lynn with Encanto.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
that's true.
Or the 10 other movies you made this year. But
Yeah, Vivo.
I think
FIFO.
I think we keep an eye out for House of Gucci to sneak in if Jared Leto lands that supporting actor nomination.
When
Because-
he lands that supporting actor now.
that'll make me so
At that point,
happy.
you're
Oh my
looking
We
at-
gosh.
didn't even talk about supporting actor. My God.
At that point, you're looking at Leto, Gaga, and probably costume and makeup. Like, there's a chance that they land both. That's 4. I mean, that
Yeah.
it feels kind of like a Ma Rainey type run, and it missed. But I don't know. I feel like that might be enough to get it in there. But that'd be kind of hilarious to see them read out House of Gucci on nominations morning. Might not even be the worst movie in the 10, but it would just be so funny.
I would just
It would
laugh.
be
I would
funny.
laugh so hard when they play
Yeah.
Jared Leto's clip at the Oscars, and it's him just going, "Nah, Mamma Mia," or whatever the fuck he's doing.
There
It'd
are
be the
a
funniest
plethora of
thing.
clips. There are a plethora of clips they could play from his performance.
I
Oh
was
my God.
laughing so hard at that clip that was going around on Twitter at the fashion show where Adam Driver's just sitting there and his facial expression does not change, even though Gaga is supposedly like in the shadows grimacing at him. It is so
I don't
funny.
even remember
I could
that
not
scene
stop
in the
laughing.
movie. When I saw that, I was like,
I'll
this is
I'll
fake.
send it to you.
I was
I'm
like,
telling
this is
you,
fake.
Jared Leto understood the assignment in that movie. That will die on this hill.
I mean, I'll say
It's
this.
fine.
Like, I don't really like Jared Leto in House of Gucci, but I like remember his scenes, and I remember like the lines he says. I can't really say that for like Kieran Hines. So I'll give Jared Leto that.
Yeah. And really quick, just while we're here, doesn't Cody Smith McPhee just seem like a weird winner?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like, I just-
Makes no
It's fully
sense.
100%.
Weird.
Yeah. He's good, but it's like
Right.
I was like he's really gonna like win? Like when he was winning all the critics awards, I was like, what's going on here? Like, are we just like we don't know who to pick, so we're just all gonna agree it's Cody Smith McPhee? Like that, I don't know. That'd be such a weird win.
I just need Jared Leto and Bradley Cooper. And
I need
I'm
Bradley
happy,
Cooper
man.
in.
I need
I
Bradley
need
Cooper so
Bradley
bad.
I get so
Cooper.
much
I
shit thrown in my
I need
face
the
for it.
clip
but-
of him throwing the trash can through the store.
Yeah.
Him just coked out of his mind. Those are the two things I need.
When he's like flicking his lighter and holding the gas, like that shit kills me. He should
God, he's so good
absolutely
at that
he should
movie. Oh my
absolutely be
God.
nominated.
When he's in the U-Haul, and I just laugh every time when he's like, "What about your dad? Do you have a good relationship with your dad?" What is going on?
No, the best for me is when he's complimenting Alana's driving. He's like, "It's not easy. Cooper can't do it." Or,
Yeah.
he's not Cooper, Gary
Yeah,
can't do
yeah.
it. but-
Can't do it.
Literally,
It's-
he's just throwing 100 miles an hour
Yeah,
the
it's-
entire time. It's
it's
the
amazing.
funniest thing.
If
Oh
he
my
had, if he
God.
had, I think 5 more minutes of screen time, I think there's a good chance that it'd be much more of a thing of him getting in consistently at places. But I
I'm
don't know,
gonna
I just
predict
feel
him.
like too much of a yeah.
I'm predicting him, yeah.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going Leto and Cooper, and then Hines,
Love it.
Hines
I
McPhee,
love it.
Kotzer.
What an iconic category, one for the ages. Before we
That would
do
make me
wrap
so
up, though, I
happy.
do
Oh
want
my
to.
gosh.
Before we wrap up, I do want to do a little bit of a rundown on our standings now, obviously, because we drafted several months ago now. What, November, I think, or October? Yeah, November. This is how we're looking so far. So we'll go bottom to the top. Nick is coming in at the bottom with 99 points, sitting on 99
Tough.
points right now.
Tough. Hate to see it.
His big movie here is Licorice Pizza with 34 of his 99 points. Next
Great.
is Sophia with 126. Dune sitting at 64 points, which leads all movies. So Dune's
Wow.
leading the
I'm
pack.
so glad
there.
I got that, considering I took Spencer and Come On, Come On.
You're very lucky to have Dune. That kind of saved you. And then just above you is myself with 135. The Power of the Dog up at 61 for me. And then we have all the way up there at 158, Jonathan at 158 with a plethora
Belfast.
of big heavy hitters. Belfast at 47, West Side Story at 48. So, I mean, you might not have, the movies that top the charts, but you got like
It's a team.
third, fourth,
You know?
fifth, yeah.
I am the Phoenix Suns, which is where I am at. Like, I got the Devin Booker, I got Chris Paul, and then a couple solid starters.
Way too well-rounded, but yeah. I mean,
Who's
most of
the Mikal Bridges of your lineup?
I don't even remember who I drafted to be.
Being the Ricardo.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably being the Ricardos is kind of just like
being the
solid
Ricardos, yeah.
all-around presence, you know.
Listen, I stayed true to myself through that voting, so in my heart, I still win.
Nah, you took a Ben
That's the way I look
Simmons
at
with Titan, bro.
Even Nick, you got Pig there, which is kind of a sad one to look at.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, you went for it, dude. Respect.
I chose things that I liked, so it's okay. We all lose.
fair.
We all lose sometimes. Someone's got to lose.
That's fair. But before we go, though, just want to thank you guys so much for coming on. Jonathan, where can people find you?
The Film Drunk on Twitter and YouTube. That's it.
Wonderful. Sophia, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Sophia_Sim. And you can find my podcast, Oscar Wilde Pod, on Twitter and Instagram. And we release episodes every Thursday. Have a lot of fun award season stuff coming.
Amazing. And Nick, obviously the man at MovieBabble. Where can we find you?
You can find me. Just, you figure it out.
If you're listening to
Love-
this, you
love asking
follow
Nick.
Nick.
You found me. Congrats.
That's very true. Thank you guys so much for coming on, though. We'll be back, obviously, in a few weeks whenever more award season mess occurs, wherever that may be. It could be Critics' Choice, BAFTA. One funny bit, though, Critics' Choice, BAFTA on the same night. We have so many stars that won't have
Cowards.
to decide which one they're going to have to attend, right?
Move the Critics' Choice like after the Oscars.
Well, I mean, now you're going to have, like, Andrew Garfield he won't have to split into two people, like him, Kristen Stewart, Jessica Chastain, Kid. Like, they don't have to go to the BAFTAs
that'll
now.
be sad.
Like, it's funny, but I mean,
Wow.
it is what it is. That's award season. That's the magic of the BAFTAs, giving us
Wow.
great scheduling for all these people.
Oscar noms in like 4 days. That's
Oh my God.
It is
Don't
real
so soon.
soon.
Don't
Oh
even.
my god.
We'll be up though that morning. I don't know if Jonathan will be
No
up.
way.
That's like,
I sleep.
yeah, that's a bit early for you on the West Coast there, but yeah, that'll be fun. So that's next Tuesday, and we'll be back. MovieBabble podcast will be back this weekend, talking all things new releases and movies. You can check out our content on our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere, and most importantly, the .com, moviebabble.com. And yeah, we'll see you next time.